or another major theme for chapter 23 are quantifiers. Quantifiers we know is a lot, few, many, that type of thing. But before we discuss the quantifiers, determiners. Determiners, as we know, are the, some, any. I don't know if that's how the textbooks are going to teach it, but it's the only, in my opinion, logical approach to this. We need to look at and some. The has nothing to do with this. We're not going to teach the is not in this conversation. Some, and any. We tell the students that some does not mean viras. That is kasin. Make sure the students are aware of that. A is not a quantifier. A is a determiner. It means that the objects, how to say this? When we use the determiner a, we are meaning the object does not have to be specific. As long as the object is within the realm of an expected form, a pen, like bildim bir kalem, it doesn't matter its shape, its size, its color, as long as it fits into the generally expected idea of a pen, then we're talking about the same thing, a pen. Okay, it means one, but that's not the meaning we're trying to say. We're trying to say that, or we're not trying to say, we are saying the expected form of a pen is singular. If someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, do you have a pen?" In most situations, we expect that pen to be singular. Now, of course, there's the possibility that we need pens, but again, it would be the expected situation. So if the teacher walks into the classroom and the teacher is speaking to the students and the teacher says, "Okay, we're going to do an exam, we need some pens." Well, of course, the expected situation is not a single pen for a group of students. In that expected situation, the reference to pens is, of course, plural. Some pens. That's a and some. Now, we could quickly look at any. Now, is it any pens? And it's negative, right? A pen and any pens. Well, zero pens is zero pens, whether it's not one pen or not many pens. So what's the difference between a pen and any pens? Again, it's about the expected situation. So if I say I do not have a pen, well, if I'm a person who's looking to sign my name on a document, I only need one pen and I don't have one pen. So the expected situation of me having a pen is olumsuz. I don't have a pen. However, if we're back into that classroom and the students are doing an exam and there are not any pens in the classroom, well, of course, the standard expectation of a group of students doing an exam is a plurality of pens is necessary. And if that plurality is not true, it's olumsuz, yani, then we're going to say there are not any pens. So I don't have a pen to sign the paper, and they don't have any pens to do those exams. It's not about plurality. It's about the expected, what is expected in that situation. Those are the determiners, and if we can relate that to the students, this would be good. Not all the students are probably going to understand or care, but some might. We can try. Okay, let's let's have a look at the quantifiers then. Quantifiers. To do this, it has to be drawn on the board. There's no other way to do it. It has to be explained. Well, maybe some other person knows a way, but I'm telling you, in my years of experience, the best way to teach this is to put countable, uncountable, var, yoke. Okay, there's our chart. Okay, so that's the breakdown of the quantifiers. Now the explanation. Well, we have the positive, meaning there is, or I have, or we saw, or we used quantity, right? And to explain most of these is simple. In Turkish, you say çok or birkaç. This is where we might want an explanation. Well, it starts simply as we were talking with determiners. It's really about the expectation of a normal situation. So, if there's $1,000 sitting on the table and a 17-year-old who has no money walks in and sees the $1,000 on the table, they might say they're is a lot of money on the table. There are a lot of dollars on the table. But someone extremely wealthy, a billionaire, king of Saudi Arabia, sees $1,000 on the table. He might not say that there's a lot of money on the table. He might say, oh, there's a little money, there's a few dollars on the table. So it's about expectation. But most of us have the same expectations, so we understand the meaning of what a lot and a few are. Now, the difference between a few and few is again about the expectation. If I have a few dollars in my pocket, then I am saying that I have enough according to expectation. Not a lot, but a little bit more than enough. But if I say I have few dollars, then it's less than the expectation. I can't go to McDonald's. I have few dollars in my pocket. Too few dollars if it's joke. So it's about the expectation when you teach this. And when you're explaining the many and the much, yeah, you can tell the students that often we do it in the positive, but most likely it's a negative sentence. We'll say many or much, right? Well, an interesting point here that we should show the students is it's not normal to make a negative statement in the, it's called diminutive, meaning the az shekilde, right? If I don't say he does not have a little money, you know, chok az para yok. That sentence is Baylor says, I do not have a little money. So yeah, I have a lot of money, yet I have zero money, no money, but it's Baylor says Angasi. Do I have a lot of money? Do I have no money? I do not have a little money. Okadar Bilyor. So be careful, you don't generally say a few or a little in a negative sentence. You can grammatically, but you don't generally in daily speech. So there's quantifiers.